Welcome everyone to the Washburn High School graduation ceremony for the class of 2022. We appreciate everyone who is here with us at the Convention Center tonight, and we appreciate everyone who is with us from other places watching on live stream. I'm Dr. Emily Palmer, proud principal of Washburn High School. Graduates, 4 years ago, I came new to Washburn with all of you. And of course, at that time, we all had some sort of ideas and expectations of what those next 4 years might be like. Looking back, I think it's safe to say we had a pretty great freshman year, right? Yes, we had a pretty great freshman year. And then COVID disrupted each of your next 3 years, but you all still came through. Yes. I have been a teacher and an administrator for 29 years. And I can honestly say that this past school year was the most difficult of my career. And ironically, I said the same thing at last year's ceremony. Who would have thought it could get worse than distance learning? But we started this school year with some significant staffing shortages. We saw yet another police murder in our city. We had the instability of being back in person, but wearing masks, then going back to distance learning, then coming back, then a strike, the war in Ukraine. Now we can't find the graduation holders. It's just been that kind of year. You can't make it up. But our Millers made it. You all are probably familiar with the phrase, forged in the fire. That's how metal gets its strength, and it's true with people too. We grow when we're challenged. We build strength by overcoming adversity. Just as a broken bone repairs itself and becomes even stronger in the broken place, so it is that you all are stronger now because of what you have experienced in the challenges of the last few years. You are strong, and it may not feel like it yet, but I believe that it's true. So we deeply honor you all, our graduates, for all of your high school successes tonight. I want to take a moment to honor the fact that in this toughest year, Washburn not only has 378 graduates, but we have 8 valedictorians who have earned a perfect 4.0. Their names are noted in your bulletin, but valedictorians, please stand so we can just applaud your incredible perseverance and accomplishment. We honor as well the support that our Millers have received from everyone here with us in the Convention Center tonight and watching on live stream. Your teachers and staff, your family and friends, your classmates and peers. Our graduates could not have done it without you all. And the Washburn community is strong, and this commencement ceremony illustrates that strength, I think, like nothing else. So seniors, please join me in a round of applause for everyone who helped you get to this night. So here we are. You've made it to this moment, your commencement ceremony. The word commencement actually means beginning. It's a cliche, but graduates, today really is the first day of the rest of your lives. Some of you have great plans. Some of you are still figuring out your next steps, and that's okay. I've heard a lot of talk about gap years this year, right? Taking your time to make the best choice for yourself is a good thing. And we don't know what the future will hold for each of you or for our community or our nation or our world. But what we know is that with this Washburn diploma, you have skills that you will take with you everywhere you go and that no one can ever take from you. Your learning is the one thing that is yours forever that cannot be taken from you. And with the perspective that you all have gained through the events of the last few years, you now see the world differently. And this means that you all are uniquely prepared to face the challenges of the future. Your generation, forged by the fire of these experiences, will do great things, no doubt. I do believe that you will become the strongest and maybe even greatest generation that America has ever seen. I believe that. And graduates, remember, you will always be a Miller. After today, you're Washburn alumni, and we hope you stay connected to Washburn for the rest of your lives. Our 100th anniversary is coming up in 2025, and we want to see all of you back home for that celebration. So whatever your next steps will be, Millers, tonight is the beginning, and I am so proud to be here in this space to share this commencement with you, the class of 2022. Congratulations.
Hi, I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Nora.
And we are two of 24 seniors that Mr. Adams had as a student this year. And yet somehow the entire senior class still voted for him to speak tonight, proving just how much of an impact he's had on us the past 4 years. This impact comes from a few unique qualities.
He's great at connecting topics together, whether it's comparing cell membranes to Harry Potter spells, or using biology to back his side in the debate of whether Nordic or alpine skiing is better.
He also takes criticism very well, even when it's 20 seniors complaining about how hard a test is during the test.
In all seriousness, we've loved getting to learn from him this year, from biology to college advice to just life skills in general. And with that, please welcome Mr. Adams.
Thank you. Washburn Class of 2022, congratulations. You made it. You're here. You know, I have this written out, but I heard we might be short of speakers, so I'm trying to figure out how I can cover an extra 10, 15 minutes, so maybe I'll just, okay. So I'm honored to represent our dedicated faculty as your teacher speaker. Several years ago, I gave this commencement speech, and I can say, looking out at such a large audience, I'm just as freaked out as I was last time. Thinking ahead to next year, I challenge the underclass students here to tell your teachers they're not allowed to chicken out of this. And I'm putting in a vote right now, maybe for Mr. Bird in 2023, so. In preparation for this speech, I can honestly share I was channeling my inner high school spirits and considered for a moment about taking the easy route out and simply using the exact same speech I did in 2015. I mean, it would be new to you, but looking it over, the content just didn't fit anymore. The world has changed. When I asked my students what I should talk about, the common response was, don't dwell on COVID or bad news. Sadly, none of these topics are gonna go away anytime soon, and our country and globally we've been through a lot. And so with that in mind, I'm gonna try and avoid a lot of that. I'm gonna attempt to stay focused on you, the students, and what went on in our building the last 4 years. Thinking about this graduating class as a biology teacher and trying to come up with the term that best describes you, I chose adaptation. The ability to react to an ever-changing environment, which is exactly what each of your 4 years has been. No matter what was thrown at you, distance learning, hybrid learning, those crazy and weird band masks with instrument bags, sports and plays canceled and then allowed, but with masks, and then for some reason, if you stepped over a certain line onto a field or a court or a stage, you could unmask. I never really understood. And just to make sure you got hit with every conceivable challenge, we extended your school day by 42 minutes and gave you 2 weeks of bonus work. So, I've been amazed at the ability of this group of students to make the best of each situation. With every new rule, regulation, and countless updates, you continue to adapt and persevere through it all. When distance learning started, students adapted. You found new ways to learn the material, and many new ways to avoid the material. Some with cameras off, some with cameras on, but eyes closed. You did your best, and teachers tried their best to make things interesting. From what I heard, it was actually more difficult to sleep through Mr. Romo's class online than it was in person. I do know online learning really must have paid off, though, because whenever I gave an online exam, somehow my students always scored way higher than they did when I tested them in person. I know the only possible explanation for this was that I'm doing a great job and my students are learning and retaining more than ever. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge parents and caregivers for supporting your children, weeding through all those district, school, and teacher communications and guiding your children through likely the most challenging parenting time ever. I have 4 kids of my own, and I can tell you that distance learning at our house was a nightmare. I had the full gambit. An elementary schooler that had to be dragged to his computer, a middle schooler and a high schooler that would get bored and lured to games on their phone, and finally a high schooler stressed out about college credit tests. So yes, the kids did the work, but man, it was exhausting getting them to keep doing the work. So how about a round of applause for all of our co-pilots over the last 4 years? In my 23 years at Washburn, I've never seen a graduating class be forced to mature so fast. It's also affected me. I feel like I've aged too. My hair is starting to turn gray. But you've been thrust into so many situations that have become hot button issues on a national scale. Out in the burbs where I live, unhinged people were throwing punches at school board meetings over masks. And the amount of issues I had with kids wearing masks at Washburn was nearly zero. And even after the mask mandate was dropped, it became the most unique social experiment ever, as kids tried to navigate what to do. Most captivating to me was watching as our student body respected each other's personal choices, something clearly lacking in this country right now. I mean, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect. I heard a lot of rumors about some questionable COVID decisions around prom that turned it into a super spreader event, but I think we can probably just assume it was probably the juniors' fault. I mean, weren't they the ones that caused that Polo G super spreader event in the fall? If distance learning wasn't bad enough, you also became collateral damage in your final semester as you lived through the first Minneapolis teacher strike in 50 years. Sadly, I think 50 years ago might also be the last time this district gave teachers a competitive salary increase. I'm not totally sure, though. I'll have to ask Mr. McKenzie what his salary was back then. On behalf of my fellow teachers, I would like to say that the outpouring of support that we felt out on that picket line every day was surreal. And some of you came and were on the picket line joining us every day, and it underscored in bold font that what we were fighting for was realistic and justified. So we as teachers just want to say thank you. Your trust kept us going. Graduates, you've been through a lot in the past 4 years. Our community and country have been through a lot. It feels wrong to ask you to always adapt to new changes. Nagash, I saw your quote online about how absurd it is to ask your generation to change the world. But sadly, older generations have failed to adapt, and it may be incumbent on you guys to clean up the many messes that we've created. The goal for your generation is no longer a return to normal, but to help create a new and improved reality, to do whatever you can to make this country better, a safe place for everyone, in short, to help our communities evolve. As your high school experience comes to a close, a variety of both serious and frivolous questions may be on your minds. Everything from, did I make the right decision for what to do next year? Do I need to have the rest of my life planned out already? Or, what's going on Stranger Things? Why is Upside Down frozen in 1983? And why do they keep letting that Argyle kid drive around a bunch of kids when he's stoned out of his mind? Or are the Funky Monkeys really going to spend $1,500 on a VRBO assassins party? And if they do I really want to go to a party that has a 100% chance of getting busted? Or perhaps most immediately, how do I convince my parents that no one is going to school tomorrow or the next 2 weeks? And Mom, Dad, don't worry about those extra assignments that just got added to my grade. I filled out a form, so it's all excuse. Wait, is it? So, remember, it's okay if it takes a while to find out the answers, and it's okay if you have to reset your life's plan more than once. Life is like science. As you gather new information, it's okay to reevaluate if you need to. Plans can change. 5 years from now, when Micah and Ritu are trying to decide where your 5-year reunion will be, I hope you will have continued to adapt and are on your way to achieving your goals, or if need be, finding new goals. Based on what I've seen, based on what I've seen from you and what has been thrown at you, I'm beyond confident that you can adapt to anything. Washburn Millers, class of 2022, thank you for your candid discussions, your effort, your patience with us, your adaptation over the years. You've helped remind me why I teach. Seeing you all here makes me proud to be a part of the Washburn community. Congratulations. I hope you're done with all your homework, and if not, see you tomorrow.
Good evening. I'm Arslan Aziz, one of the proud administrators at Washburn High School. It is my pleasure tonight to introduce our next student speaker to you, Rose Pereira. The name Pereira is Portuguese, a nod to her immigrant heritage. The rich tapestry of her background contains ancestry from the Azore Islands, Lisbon, Portugal, Napoli, Italy, and Germany. A fun fact about Rose is that she has lived in 7 houses, and she loves that. For school, she attended Hiawatha Leadership Academy before coming to the MPS schools of Hale, Field, and our own Washburn. Some of her accomplishments: she has been a student council member for grades 10 through 12. She has been a member of the National Honor Society for grades 11 through 12. When asked, "What are you proud of?" she said, "I have pushed myself to try a lot of new things. Nordic skiing, just this year. Never did it before. Sailing team, never did it before, but did it in 10th grade and then again in 12th grade. It was online in 11th grade. Imagine that. Auditioned for a musical freshman year, but did not get in, and it prompted her to even further her work in the aerial arts through Circus Juventes and the Zelius program. She ran a half marathon with her mom on Halloween last year. She completed various leadership camps and will return this summer to work as a counselor. She has done PSEO in 11th and 12th grade and took psychology, chemistry, kinesiology, and anthropology at Normandale College. One thing Rose is proud of is how she connected to her learning during the COVID years. These are her words. "I learned a lot about myself in those COVID stay-at-home years. I picked up reading and tried to read as much as I could. I picked up writing. I fell in love with creative writing. It is satisfying to expand my brain into creative spaces." What's next for Rose? She will be attending the University of Puget Sound. She's looking forward to the personal connections she will be able to make. She said she has no idea what she is going to study or do, and that's okay. I somehow feel she will be able to handle it. She is joined here tonight by her parents, Ann Pereira, Mark Pereira, step-parents, Jim Holthouse and Anita Sakur, grandparents, Carol and Bob, stepbrothers, Jacob and Robert, Stefan, Kay and Katie, her sister Grace, who is unable to attend, but she was a Washburn alum who graduated in 2020, is probably watching the live stream. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Rose Pereira.
A 5-paragraph essay. Introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Don't forget Times New Roman with a size 12 font. When sitting, or if I'm being honest, lying in bed during my COVID isolation and writing this speech, I thought of this format. The imprint that Miss Danny, Mr. Rice, Miss Koppel, and Mr. Forstner have had on me, and I'm sure so many of you. I strained to think of how I could possibly fit our time together at Washburn into a well-constructed, moving, grammatically correct, 5-paragraph essay. The simple answer, impossible. Freshman year was blurry, a brief introduction with a side of fear, heavy backpacks, and unfamiliar faces that soon became life-changing friends. Sophomore year was abrupt, cut short. There wasn't exactly the flow that all of us were hoping for. Junior year, if it even happened, was lonely, full of loss, right here in our city and the world as a whole. But we spent days with loved ones, fought to make change in our community, and learned how to pass time in our own company. And finally, senior year, the last chapter, a roller coaster of thrill, stress, lots of sliding, and an all-encompassing feeling of bittersweetness. For me today, and I'm sure all of you, it feels far too confusing and difficult to finally put the pen down. It was my hope when writing this speech to stray away from the use of words like unprecedented times. We are all far too familiar with this phrase and the events that have accompanied it these last few years. Here today, there is not an exact precedent for what each and every one of us will move on to do. That being said, it is my most sincere hope that we are all able to peek over the mountains we've climbed and begin to see the tips of infinite blades of greener grass beginning to sway on the other side. Our generation's ability to make a lasting positive impact on injustices and crises in our world is immense. We have already begun to see change, and these changes will continue. It is an honor to have spent the last 4 years catching a glimpse into the lives of those we've walked the halls of Washburn with. I want all the graduates to take a moment and think back to their freshman year selves. Close your eyes if you'd like. Think of someone that reassured you that high school will not be all the terrifying things that maybe an older sibling made them out to be. The classes that would give 5+ hours of homework a night, or to quote my journal from freshman year, PSA, senior boys are so tall and intimidating. Perhaps it was a teacher whose simple comment on an assignment made you believe that you really do have a math brain. A parent or guardian who helped you hold the weight that was a bit too heavy for you to bear alone. A friend who from the very first impression filled your heart, causing you to feel like the most important person in their galaxy. I hope that with this person in mind, we are all able to make similar everlasting impacts on those we meet throughout adulthood. My mother, in all her wisdom, has often reminded me that you can be sure a change is a good change when accompanied by the feeling of being afraid. Without this feeling, we should question whether this change holds importance to us. Nothing can be nearly as fulfilling or rewarding without it. I encourage everyone to approach the next part of our lives and all that follow, fully accepting the unknown that lies in novelty, allowing it to humble us. Take a look around. Glance to your right and to your left. Know that the people seated beside you also feel afraid. Be ready to accept the tears and frustration, but also to swim in the joy and bliss of accomplishment. Everything is transitory. We are meant to shrink and grow simultaneously, but it is important for us to remember to stick to our roots and to edit what has already been written. Thank you for touching the lives of those seated around you. Remember to love widely and hard. Don't forget, this includes loving yourself. Congratulations, our time is up. The birds are chirping, and I'm sure our new blades of grass will soon be accompanied by breathtaking flowers. I now invite you all to put your pens down, and as Mr. Forstner has said best in the last 5 minutes of class, be at ease. Here's to lots of well-deserved celebration. Thank you, and good luck.
Our student poet this evening is a proud product of Minneapolis Public Schools. She started her school journey at Green Central, continued to Justice Page, as it's known now, and is graduating tonight from the Washburn High School. She uses her talents of singing, dancing, acting, and spoken word to help make positive changes in her community. She has enjoyed being able to take part in many extracurriculars here at Washburn. Her plans next fall, are to attend Florida Memorial University. She's deciding between social work and criminal justice. Either way, we know that we will see her making a difference. Please welcome Elsie Carmona Caterio.
As we say in theater, can you give me a 3, 2, 1 action? From filled backpacks and ambitious, anxious hands walking into school, through restarting school 3 times, to tired eyes and more days in June, they're piled on our backs, but we overcame. As the soil nourishes our air, we start breathing our revolution. The wounds go down 400 plus years, layers of blood, too few books that teach the hard history. Our representation in future history books will come with vibrant hues that our history left for us to put together. Our representation, or more responsibility on us to learn the hard history and use that as our ignition and flame to keep walking, keep going, and keep faith in our movement. Class of 2022, we created history. We will remember. We were all a part of it. I shed the blood of my ancestors, hold my weapon, my voice, because I am not alone. We are overcoming. Supremacy has no room in our unity, our earth, our peace. From white man's written books to black men written in blood, that better be in my children's textbooks. 13 years in this system, a roller coaster of moments of bliss, of pain, of defeat, and of triumph. We kept on walking. So often, slouched shoulders, blistering feet, twisted in pain, captive in a place that's not always comfortable. No room to escape. You have to be here. You have to do the work. We learned to take care for ourselves. Put a mask over my tired lungs, fighting early days and late nights, sometimes hopeless about the idea of graduating, but we did it. Things aren't changing fast enough, but we are forcing change. Barriers set up, barriers knocked down. I can't say it's over yet because we all have more to accomplish. We made connections, learned to love one another, or grew apart from people. Built lifelong relationships with lifelong mentors, forever hold the wisdom given to us by the teachers, tutors, and staff who have cared for us. We did succeed. I found my people here, the ones who fed my soul, uplifted me, energized me, gave me hope. This community taught me that I'm valued and loved. I hope you found your people here too. Here we are, 4 years later. The change we endured, the change we authored, changed us. The price we paid was our mental health. I'm not indestructible. We are not bulletproof machines. I learned hurt people until everyone is suffering. But we wake up every day stronger. I learned to love myself and learn to value God's purpose, my purpose. I learned it's okay to be alone, and I'm never alone. I used to think happiness was a luxury, but I soon realized how much of a tax it can be to not be happy. Ironically, we're more confident, more open to advocating for our education, our rights and mental health, discovering our passions, or a few steps away from there. I can't say this is over for us. I will say this is a moment to celebrate getting here. We cried,
laughed, felt embarrassed, angry, but we had the right to feel that way. I represent all of the students of color that took on multiple roles in their lives as mothers, siblings, students, adults. You are celebrated for working not only for yourself, but for others as well. I imbue my melanin brothers and sisters hurt from the pain. Operating through new eyes, I am renewed to a life of blessing and gratefulness. Today is a milestone no matter what the small and big obstacles you have faced. You are recognized, and today is to celebrate us. I love all of my scars. They all tell a story of how I got here. For 17 years of my life, I was best friends with my trauma. I learned that just because I can't stay away from my trauma doesn't mean I can't heal from it. I'm human, a woman. I'm worthy of my multi-ethnic identity. Dark and light browns nourish my skin, my protection. The color of my skin does not make me susceptible to stereotype. We don't run away from our skin or our reality. We make the best of it. Now it's my turn to let my wings fly, because I'm next. I'm your next Black woman, your next Afro-Latino activist, actor, poet, or whatever I desire. Yo con orgullo represento a mis raíces latinas también. The opposite of love is fear. Take your fear and kill it with love. My tribe, my home, my people, my soul, your friendship, your lessons, your conviction, your passions. So now we can all be watered and nourished with love, acceptance, and representation. Our hands are our healers. Our feet will forever keep on marching. Class of 2022, can you just take a breath with me? Inhale, exhale. Serenity, at least for a second. That was for the breath we've been holding since we entered the building 4 years ago. The lesson is, don't hold your breath. Breathe as you go, heal as you go. Class of 2022, we are a part of a revolutionary time. We write the revolution as we write our own stories. No matter what path you took to be here today, we will continue to leave our marks as we continue to succeed. Thank you.
We've got a quick bonus number for you.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes a sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made from what I've learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten mine by being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for the things I've done you blame me for. But then I guess we know there's blame to share, and none of it seems to matter anymore. Like a comet, like a ship blown from its as it passes by a wind off the sea, like a stream that needs like a seed dropped by a bird in the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
Patty Cheetah and Mary Bear, y'all. Our program went to press before I saw the spring musical and realized it was too perfect not to have that song be a part of it. Thank you, Hattie and Mary.
As I'm sure you may have noticed, not much has exactly gone to plan these last few years. Unfortunately, the pandemic is still with us, and our keynote speaker, Justice Ellen Page, is ill and unable to be with us this evening. Justice Page sends his congratulations and best wishes to the class of 2022. He wants us to know how proud he is of all of us, especially the students that he met first back at what was then Ramsey Middle School. The hard work that students from this class put into changing the name of that school exemplifies the kind of leadership that is needed in the world today more than ever. He is confident that the Washburn class of 2022 will continue to lead to make the world a better place. And he reminds us that the way to be successful is through preparation. It doesn't just happen. You don't just wake up one day and discover that you're a lawyer any more than you wake up one day as a pro football player. It takes time and hard work and belief in yourself. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Give our seniors a moment to get back to their spaces. Can we have one more round of applause for all of the amazing music from Washburn tonight? Thank you. So proud of all of you. At this point, I would like to welcome School Board Member Ira Jourdain and Associate Superintendent, soon to be Interim Superintendent Rochelle Cox, to come and both join me here at the podium for the presentation of the class. Do your acceptance thing. Here we go. Minneapolis leaders, it is my great honor to certify that the 378 Washburn seniors that we are about to announce have met the requirements for high school graduation as specified by the Minneapolis Public Schools and the state of Minnesota.
Thank you, Dr. Palmer. I am Director Ira Jourdain of the Minneapolis Board of Education. On behalf of the Minneapolis Board of Education, my fellow board directors, we accept to confer upon our graduates the class of 2022.
Thank you so much, Director Jourdain. And at this time, I invite our counselor, Herb Kroll, to call the names of the graduating seniors. Here we go.
Yes, we are now lining up. Come on. Just so everybody knows, students will actually picking up their diplomas and diploma covers from Washburn between the 21st and 24th of June. Jabir Amir Abdallah. Abdawali Musa Abdi. Hodo Omer Abdi. Daoud Ibrahim Abdullahi. Najma Ismail Abdi Samed. Grace Elizabeth Adams. Graham Harold Edelman. Abdurrahman Abdullahi Ahmed. Anna Natalia Ainsworth. Ashley Daniela Alsenat. Nico Sebastian Alexander. Susan Kyung-yoon Alexander. Bilal Ali. Hindo Saeed Ali. Abdurazak Ahmed Ali. Suhaib Muhammad Ali. Benjamin Richard Alm. Giselle Alpuche Ramirez. Michelle Alivar Espinosa. Jake Meyer Anderson. Nicholas William Anderson. Julia K. Angerman. Leslie Sabrina Apayez Ponce. Veda Catherine Arbeiter. Nicole Elizabeth Ario. Yara Yasmin Ariola. Juan Carlos Avila Onofre. Maya Carolina Acevedo. Mary Alice Baer. Colin Vance Baker. Molly Noel Balo. Nora Marie Bartlett. Jackson Bennett Batson. Louis Bent. Preston Cecilia Berg. Ida Caroline Berg. Alice Evelyn Berg. Olivia Simmons Bergen. Hazel Taglia Bergstrom. Eleanor Langevin Berry. Caitlin Mira Berry. Tiago Sol Bertoldo Zwicky. Sydney Eileen Beringer. Zachary Ronald Bayan. Chloe Eileen Bitney. Ritu Boyer Conway. Samantha Grace Brettel. Lucy Marie Bruning. Carter Henry Burmaster. Sloan Catherine Cardin. Elsie Carmona Quiterio. Jack Michael Carney. Peter Dinas Cassidy. Drew Christopher Shimoleski. Alexandre Robert Cholat. Anna Elizabeth Christensen. Caroline Helen Clayson. Justin Daniel Clark. Benjamin Arthur Clausen. Thomas Owen Klein. Avery Suzanne Smeal. Joe Malcolm Kaufman. Isaac Daniel Conway. Grace May O'Neill Corsack. Julia Ann Rucker Cosgrove. Corsha Coretta Couch. Shannon Evelyn Cross. Isabella Bernadette Croteau. Maxwell Aiden Crowley. Maxwell Clark Danzel Lagi.
You got it right.
June Darling. Jakayla Davis. Camden Edward DeBruin. Margaret Leigh Deering. Bruno Stimmel Degree. Asha Rita Marie Deich. Cole Daniel Demra. Abdikani Sheikton Dimble. Kate Lucille Dickel. Connor Preston Dix. Frances Naomi Dykes Breen. Amy Chow Fung Dolny. Asiya Mohamud Dubeh. Muna Mohamud Dubeh. Elijah John Lund Doubles. Anders Drake Eisenmenger. Cecilia Faye Erickson. Thomas Martin Fisher. Luca Danilo Folega. Rosalind Marie Fuppy. Sean William Ford. Shania Leona Fowlin. Caroline Elizabeth Frame. Vincent Christian Frangipani. Ashton Andrew Freed. Amelia Faye Friedman. Grace Irene Fugate. Lindsay Ellen Fulton. Franklin Garcia Mendoza. September Ani Garwick Evans. Joshua Daniel Garzon Martinez. Maya Michiano Gels. Ethan Richard Guess. Isabel Martone Giebank. Olivia Katarina Gehring. Elijah Kennan Grancy Bowman. Dylan St. John Greenhouse. Eli Greenwald Baldwin. Fisher Eric Griffin. Elena Aldrich Griffiths. Theodore George Grimes. Evan Matthew Grimm. Lauren Christine Groff. Nathaniel Roy Grundine. Carter Simmons Gustafson. Charbella Ann Haish. Thomas John Hamill. Benjamin Thomas Hansen. Jack Walter Hansen. Vanessa Ann Haas. Ahmed Hassan. Hamza Nur Hassan. Libin Farhan Hassan. Abigail Marie Jaycox Hadding. Gavin Joseph Hover. Ariana Joy Castles Hawkins. Liam Michael Hedrick. McAllister Peter Hearn. Denali Grace Helland. Isaiah Patrick Henderson. Sophia Elaine Hendren. Vaughn Bao Hendricks. Alex James Hermitson. John Albert Hernandez Rojas. Fernando Herrera. Mubashir Rashid Hiss. Julian Ellis Hissong. Micaiah Lachey Holmes. Inez Ray Holly. Jack Huber. Nevaeh Brielle Holt. Gabriel James Holte. James Kerwin Holte. Isabella Holmes Connors Hogeem. Winifred Caroline Hoyt Niemek. Jacob Allen Hughesby. Isra Abdullahi Hussein. Rahma Abdullahi Hussein. Robinson Joseph Illig. Hanad Mohammed Isa. Lavon Jada Prue Jackson. Athena Elizabeth Jandal. Jerry Hara Zimanacela. Joshua Owen John. Henry Lewis Johnson. Claire Margaret Johnson. Ariana Katarina Elizabeth Jones. Elena Danielle Jones. Jack David Jorgensen. Solveig Elsa Juntanen. Xander James Van Asten Jurowitz. Elizabeth Maria Kangas. Samuel Scott Caton. Jackie Camille Kelly. Franklin Joseph Kernan. Christine Claire Kessens. Noah Levi Kinsley. Cecilia Mary Klein. Lena Janice Clevin. Owen John Knick. Ashton Blake Cole. Kofi Julian Kudaya. Abigail Christine Christensen. Sierra Ann Krieger Wolf. Ava Sue Keen. Nagach Kuth. Ella Danaher Lang. Cole Daniel Larson. Sergio Laureano Lopez. Thomas Spencer Lawless. Emma Sophia Lawyer. Allison Leyeska Rivera. Jose Leon Gomez. Micah James Lesh. Zachary Daniel Leslie. Flynn Ferreira Lugers. Margaret Lamuth Lichtig. Erin Michelle Lieb. Antonia Abeni Lindner. Harriet Abeni Lindner. Brody Parker Line. Maureen Adams Lockwood. Anna Lohr. Britta Larson Lundgren. Nemo Abdullahi Made. Charlotte Nagel Madsen. Rain Peter Maggie. Fatah Ali Mohammed. Keaton St. Main Miley. Jack Thomas Manzavrakos. Gael Manzor Strandland. Zachary Edward Marquardt. Benjamin Scott Matthews. Talia McHaney. Mac Maccabee. Siddhartha Joseph McDaniel. Maxwell Mohan McDaniel. Franklin Wilson McDonough. John Isaac McGinty. Meta Kristen McKinney. Joseph Edward Meckles. Charlotte Grace Meeks. Benjamin August Merrims Johnson. Emma Catherine Muse. Lydia Rose Meyer. Tate Wynn Miller. Madison Noel Milligan. Mia Ethel Minea. Nala Juliet McCowery. Aisha Ali Mahamud. Dika Osman Ali. Abdi Hamed Mohamud. Sagal Hassan Mohamud. Julia Reese Moore. Grant Andrew Marine. Peter Henrik Mortensen. Abbas Mohammed. Imran Mohammed. Augustine Phillips Muller. Ambrose Arthur Myers. Dominic Fraboni Navarre. Elizabeth Grace Knights. Annabelle Jack Nelson. Bariana Nicholson Perkins. Andrew Wade Nielsen Gunning. Elizabeth Starr Northrup. Tahir Nadir Nur. Ridwan Nuruddin Nur. Marianne Ochoa Medina. Jack Finn O'Kane. Christian Olivan Roldan. Jane Agnes Olney. Afnan Jabril Omar. Nura Rashid Omar. Shirley Stella O'Mara. Connor Nels Orshnick. Audrey Francis Orr. Imran Yassin Osman. Linnea Tofty Wimet. Skylar Julia Overmeyer. Jack William Owen. Sophie Grace Panning Miller. Frances Christine Papajohn Goldad. Johnny Peter Parkhurst. John Michael Partney. Reese Randall Passons. Tajon Kyrie Patterson Cook. Sebastian Olin Painter. Rose Carmela Pereira. Johanna Rose Perry. Brooks Urban Peterson. Keegan Jace Peterson. Charlotte Sandry Peterson. Hannah Bearden Peterson. Juliet Carol Peterson. Reina Sarai Pineda Ortega. Kimberly Pinedo. Vincent Addison Poland. Oliver Michael Prentice. Julia Claire Price. Nora Fisher Preety von Herber. Thomas Richard Price. Julian Policine. Joseph Patrick Quinlan. George Anthony Robbie. Cass Christopher Ramberg. Sawyer Garcia Ranum. Campbell Grace Rogers. Octavio Ivan Rojas Camino. Jennifer Rojas Garcia. Rolanda Rochelle Roper. Ryan Rose. Alexander Charles Rowley. Brittany Ruiz Cruz. Cassandra Marie Rust. Patrick Thomas Ryan. Vanessa Salgado Mederos. Victor Adrian Newell Sanchez. Pablo Farrell Sandy. Lena Raquel Sather. Lucy Parker Ward Scher. Ella Marie Schlag. Trygve John Anderson Schmid. Ella Joan Scott. Hannah Elizabeth Segura. Avery Gillette Sellers. Sarah Elizabeth Sells. Amelia Kai Selstad. Alberta Servan Manrique. Ishmael Abdimahad Shekhali. Camille Lene Shelton. Malachi David Schiffer Delegard. Ava Marie Cragthorpe Shirley. Gray Sophia Siebenoller Ransom. Donovan Antoine Smith. Grace Isabel Solorzano. Ruby Grace Song. Beck Alexander Sosa. Luke Sudali Espinosa. Jason Suravan. Oksana Marie Stremick. Samuel Joseph Strickland. Owen James Sutton. Devin Suri Svedal. Levi Christopher Svensrud. Megan Lee Taylor. Nevaeh Bobby Taylor. Efrain Felix Tellez Carrillo. John Thomas Augustus Torman. Isabella Ross Tierney. Zachary William Thompson. Rontrell Levar Tony Bacon. Naya Mackenzie Trainum. Charles Dominic Tripp. Hattie Collier Cheetah. Zoe Melise Turan. Tierra Marie Turner. Elsa Marie Euler. Madeline Elaine Rose Unce. Anna Elizabeth Valencia. Walter Berklid Van Dyke. Aiden Patrick Van Hunnick. Eleanor Caton Vapp. Rylan Cash Vetter. Derek Michael Waddick. Adrian Rose Wadzinski. Mary Margaret Walchuk. Damarian Jarrell Cortell Walker II. Anthony Walker. Connor Gregory Walstead. Louis Abraham Waltower. Mozai Washington. Christina Elizabeth Watson. Ava Catherine Weaverling. Jasmine Renee Jeanette Wells. Cassius Clay Westcott. Jake Clarence White. Ian Wiggins. Clara Remington Willett. Gabriel Williams. Amaya Renee Williams. Hannah Christine Willingham. Kirsten Elise Wilson. Cortez Damian Winfield. Henry Michael Wisty. Joseph Woods. Tatum Olivia Redberg Peterson. Lola Abby Brianne Wukerfenig. Magnus Daniel Woolow Journey. Max Ilvesacker. Lola Gabrielle Yost. Michael Patrick Zander. Evan Joseph Zaremba. William Zumba Cortez. And finally, today we say goodbye to our two students who came to Washburn through foreign exchange programs, and we send them off to their home countries with goodwill and honorary diplomas. They are Mencia Meadows Ontanon from Spain, and Petra Amelia Salonen from Finland.
At this time, I would like to invite all of our teachers and staff who are present in the auditorium to please stand. Tonight I say to you, teachers and staff, thank you. Thank you for your dedication to our students, for your support of the class of 2022. Your work was critical to our seniors handling these 3 years of crisis and coming out strong, and we are grateful to you. You may now move into your positions, staff for recessional. Graduates, please stand. At this time, 2 more things, folks. At this time, I invite you to move your tassel from the right side to the left as an indication of your accomplishment. We, who have had the great privilege of teaching and serving you, are so very proud of all you have accomplished. You are our graduates. And as your principal, I am honored to present now to everyone here tonight and to the world the Washburn High School graduating class of 2022. Congratulations!